Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Irfan Zarif bin Sabahari. So today I'm going to talk about case study 1. So for case study 1, the problem statement is transformer explosion at a construction site. So code of ethics that have been involved for this case is section 1.2.2, which is a registered engineer with practicing certificate who takes over a piece of work should assume all liability and responsibility for the works done prior to his taking over. Next, for section 3.2, is engineers should report any safety hazard and take immediate action to mitigate risk. So for the solution for this case is, we have 3 solutions for this case, which is first, regular safety audits. Engineers must ensure that all electrical installations comply with relevant standards and are maintained regularly. Next, training and access control. Engineers must provide training for all personnel regarding safety protocol. Then, for the transformer room, should be restricted area. Make a proper access control are in place. So, for the last solution is emergency response planning. Engineers must develop and enforce a robust emergency response plan that includes procedures for dealing with electrical fires and explosions.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi. My name is Wan Muhammad Firdaus bin Wan Shaidi with a card metric number of 211092532. Okay, for point 2, there are 2 main things that I need to consider. The first thing is ethical concerns, and the second thing is the recommendation. So, if I am engineer A, in ethical concerns, what I need to do is duty to public services. The second thing is fairness and transparency. And the last one is undue influence. As for the recommendations, which is the second part of the main things that I need to consider, what I need to do is, the first one is recusal, the second one is blind selection process, and the last one is disclosure.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Zulfan bin Aiman. My metric number is 21109-3235. In this video, I will explain about case study number 3. From the case study, we can get a problem statement of the case study is identify conflict area and ethical boundaries between resident, electrical engineer and contractor. From the problem statement, the code of ethics that we can use is section 1.2.1. Registered professional engineer with practicing certification certified satisfactory completion of a piece of work only if he has control over the supervision of the construction or installation of the work, and only if he is certified that the construction or installation has fulfilling the requirement of the engineering design and specification. Second, section 1.2.4, registered professional engineer with practicing certificate having knowledge of any violation of this code of conduct or any law or regulation should report to employer or appropriate professional body, and where relevant also to public authorities, and cooperate with the appropriate professional body or the proper authority in furnishing such information or assistance as may be required. Lastly, section 1.3.2, registered professional engineer with practicing certificate should disclose or know of potential conflict of interest that may occur or appear to affect his judgment or the quality officer. From this case, the solution that we can make is resolve dispute amicably, maintain professional integrity, collaborate effectively, uphold professional responsibility.
For case study 4 is to ensure professional competence and integrity in rural electrification projects. For code of ethics, we have three. First, section 4.1, which is professional competence and due care. Engineers must maintain the knowledge and skill necessary for the common practice of the profession. Second is section 4.2, which is integrity. The engineer must be honest and trustworthy in doing work. And section 4.3 is public interest and welfare. Engineers must hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public in the performance. So for the solution, in this case, we have three. First is direct and honest conversation to the engineer who is responsible at work. Second is report to client. The issues should internal escalation fail to rectify the issues to client become necessary. And lastly is report to professional bodies, which is BEM. Report to BEM because BEM has the authority to investigate and take disciplinary action of the engineer.
For point 5, there are 4 to 5 things that I need to consider. So the first thing is public safety. I need to make an immediate action and do an investigation. The second one is transparency and communication. What I need to do is reporting and do a meeting with the stakeholders so that I can communicate with them. The third thing is cooperation and accountability. What I need to do is damage assessment, remediation, and accountability. The fourth one is professional development. I need to learn from the past incidents. And the last one is ethical consideration, which is I need to consider the honesty and transparency and protecting public trust.
Next is case study 6. From the case study 6, the problem statement that we know is exploring the dual practice of professional engineer in electrical engineer, balancing consultant and contractor roles. From this case study, the code of ethics that we use is section 1.1.4. Register professional engineer with practicing certificate should undertake assignment only if he is qualified by education and experience in the specific technical field of the assignment in which he is to be involved. Next, section 1.2.2. Registered professional engineer with practicing certificate who take over a piece of work should assume all liability and responsibility for the work done purely to his taking over. From this case study, the solution that we can produce is avoiding conflict of interest, clear role definition, continuous monitoring and evaluation, and lastly, continued professional development.
For case study 7, this problem is ethical considerations in replacing a consulting engineer. So code of ethics that have involved for this case of study is we have two. First is section 1.1.1. A registered professional engineer with practicing certificate shall not misrepresent or exaggerate his responsibility in or for the subject matter of previous assignment. Second is section 1.4. Engineers shall not unreasonably refuse to undertake an argument. So for the solution, we have two. First is professional courtesy. Engineers should inform the previous engineer about the client's request for a change. This communication should be respectful and professional, recognizing the previous engineer's effort and contribution of the project. So the second solution is resolution of outstanding issues. If the previous engineers has not been paid for their fees, the incoming engineer should encourage the client to settle this obligation. Taking over work without addressing such issues is unethical and undermines the professional community's integrity.
For point 8, there are two main things. The first thing is follow the previous engineer, and the second thing is for the current engineer. So what does the previous engineer need to do? The first thing is completion of the approval, and the second thing is hand over all of the documentation, and the last one is availability for consultant. Next, what does the current engineer, which is me, need to do? The first thing is review and due diligence. The next thing is communication with the client and the previous engineer. Next, maintaining the continuity of the project. And the last one, I need to keep all of the record.